Real African stories, real African experiences. This is the Legally Clueless video series, proudly powered by Guinness Black Shine's Brightest. Stay tuned to the end to find out more. And in this episode, Seba shares how a visit to an art exhibition in high school changed her life.
My name is Seba Mwakaisio, and I'm from Nairobi, Kenya. So my childhood growing up, I would say there was a lot of art influence. Not necessarily visual arts, but music. My dad loves music. I mean, my whole family loves music. I was encouraged to play piano, cello, the guitar. So I would say artistically, there's some vibration that has always been there. When I was in primary school, I don't think I interacted with visual artists here. I knew of art, but it was a very foreign concept or very European, concept. The thought of a Kenyan artist just being an artist didn't occur to me until I saw Peter Elongat's paintings, yeah. But I didn't interact with that until much, much later. So I did art in high school. I had actually picked computer science as an elective, and then I switched. One of my best friends, Beth, was like, "Sis, no, it's art. Like, think about it." And truly, it was art. When we were in Form 3, we had to pick the subjects that you're going to take at the end for the KCSE exam. And I picked art as one of the electives that I'll do up to Form 4. And during that time, because of the structure that art is, or our society, it's very conservative. So, like even the drawings you have couldn't be nude or, it'd be like still life fruit, And I was in a Catholic girls' high school, so just imagine. But I had a really, really good art teacher, Mrs. Olude. She was amazing. She took us on a trip to the museum. And we were going to look at other things, yeah, not art related. But then she snuck us into one side of the building where there were paintings by this artist called Peter Elongat. He's one of Kenya's veterans in the art scene. And I was like, this is a Kenyan. And she was like, yes, this is a Kenyan who is making it, doing it. And, so I think that kind of triggered something inside me to be like, I really like doing this. Why can't I just follow through? So I took it more seriously, I guess. I did art for my A's. I applied to do fine art for university. I started and then I switched, as you do, as you know. Yes, but I just started pursuing it, yeah. And then I think my toes were dipped in just a little, then I'd dip a little bit, back and forth. And because of how unpredictable being an artist is, I think worldwide, but in Kenya even more so, and the social and economic structures are almost zero, I think I needed to fall back on something more financially stable. And yeah, so I took other routes. I worked in the corporate sector for a bit. Yeah, that happened. And then, yeah, I quit and then just became a full-time artist. And now I love it. Yeah, never looking back. So when I was applying to do fine art, the art teacher at Braeburn was helping me. My mom was helping me, obviously. I guess I can say maybe lucky that my parents have always been supportive of whatever you want to do, as long as you work hard at it. Dedicate yourself fully to it. Just do what your heart desires. This is your life, Yeah, so there wasn't an issue with them. I think I had more comments from some friends more so than other people who really knew me. I remember there's this guy, I think I've told you this story, who told me, he was like, so you're going to draw. As in, he was like, you're going to draw, unaenda kuchora. And then I was like, yeah, that's, I guess, what it is. And he just couldn't understand. So I went to State University of New York, and When I got there, I was very naive, I believe. Like if I go back to uni now, obviously, even if it's the States, I'll have a different mindset. But I was definitely naive. And I was in school and I had classes with really emo-ish kids and kids I would say who were more life experienced than I was. And that freaked me out. And then also there was this professor who was like, yeah, so now you're fine arts students. Some of you are going to end up on drugs. The other half of you are going to end up on the streets. And the rest of you just won't make it. And maybe 1% of you will make it. And that also freaked me out. So in the middle of that, I switched majors. But that said, that professor wasn't wrong. Like at that time, when you hear that, it sounds mean and so like F you, like you condescending, and then it freaks you out and you're thinking, you're not supposed to be freaking me out. But it's the reality of the situation, yeah. So I came back home. Also, the fees of my uni were raised by an insane amount the second term. So those were like two reasons for coming back home, to like restructure what to do next. So I came back for a couple of months. Then I applied to France. I went to this uni in Poitiers for a few months. Then I moved to Sorbonne in Paris and I studied French civilization, which was like a standardized thing you have to do if you're going to be in their public system. And I did art history. And then when I was in the middle of that, I got a scholarship to do this Erasmus program in Madrid. So I finished my undergrad in international relations in Madrid. And then after that, I went and did my master's in LSE, in law and accounting. And I worked in between all that. So like I worked in Madrid, I worked in London, in between school and after school a little. Then came back home, then worked a little here. But I was painting throughout. Like in uni, even going to classes to do all the things I was doing, I was constantly painting. Like I have paintings from uni. Even some of my pals who I still keep in touch with, they're like, I can't believe you are in law school. Like, what were you thinking? I think internally, at some point, it wasn't a battle. I won't lie. Because I do enjoy learning new things. So the beginning process of learning or the new experience of just the challenge is the excitement is still heightened and still there, but the creativity gets stifled with, I don't want to say too much structure because there is structure in art. It's just, I'm a very free spirit, and I hate being micromanaged. And I think I used to find that every space I was in, surprisingly more so in Kenya than in England, there was more freedom. There wasn't like a hierarchy of your boss, mheshimiwa, of, like you want to be saluted and a red carpet as you walk. There was more of a friendly relationship. And I think I like that because I don't like feeling like, yes, you do know more than me, but can I be able to just ask you a question and vice versa? And I found even with professors abroad, that was a culture shock for me. Like you can go and have a beer together and it's not a big deal and discuss life matters and philosophy. And I think that's the best way to learn. I worked in a law firm, I worked in an investment bank, and I worked in private equity. What was the experience? I learned a lot from all of them, a lot. But again, I didn't like the structure of 9 to 5. There's no creativity. I find tends to be sometimes like groupthink, if I can put it that way. And I think because I just am an artist, I will never be able to fit in spaces like that. Obviously, there are many people who can and thrive in those particular spaces, but I can't. I think I was taking a while to quit because I had been quitting for like a really long time. But when I finally decided to quit, I was dating an artist, and I think I just felt like I was living a lie because I was seeing I can actually just live as an artist. I don't have to pretend to be someone else or suffer while, deep down I really just want to paint and sculpt and and create dope shit. That's really what I want to do. So I think that environment made it click for me. And a lot of answers that I think I had not gotten for myself came out from that space. Yeah. So before I resigned, I had joined an Brush 2, which is a collective that I'm a member of. And obviously I had been talking to so many artists and being friends with them, interacting with them, asking questions. I learned from so many artists. I like learning like that, like very practically. And so far so good, I think. Yeah, I believe. I was feeling like a lot of relief because things just started doing this, like connecting with each other. I got all these residencies to do. I think things just opened up nicely. So I'll say maybe within the visual arts, I'd say we're not recognized in Kenya, yeah? It's very, I don't want to say underground, but for example, if you say mi ni msanii, the first thought would be I'm a musician. Like someone will ask you, have I heard your songs? Or, they won't think msanii as in I'm an artist. And even the policies that are there in government with the culture, the Ministry of Culture, are more towards music within the arts. Although that's changing, and there's an organization I'm part of called AVAC and we're trying to build more recognition and more of a welfare system for artists, visual artists specifically, in Kenya, so that there's like a space for artists to just be artists, so that it can actually be a career. Most artists will have a side hustle just to make ends meet, because it's also not a product that moves like milk or sugar, you know what I mean? But still, there are many artists who survive just on their art. It takes a while and consistency and I guess just working. But in Kenya alone, I think we have a really, really long way to go. We'll get there, but we have a long way to go, within the visual arts at least, yeah. I think sculpting is teaching me patience, consistency, some parts how to be like meticulous, yeah. It's very physically engaging and also mentally, like you playing around with chemicals, you're thinking about formation and structure and proportion and so many things, but there's something about it that's different from painting. Painting is wonderful, but I feel like I'm not over it, obviously painting is my first love, but there's more you get out of emotionally from sculpting. Like it removes more from you. It takes more from you. I have a feeling sculptors are masochists. I think so. And the hours just go. Like you forget to eat, the time just moves. Yeah. I'm on the right track. I think it's a slow, but it's a steady track. I've had exhibitions at Shift Eye, group exhibitions with One of Gallery, Diani at Gallery, solos at Lifestyle, at Movenpick in Milan as well, at Brush 2, and there's more to come. I'm about to go for a residency in Nanyuki with this amazing, amazing mural artist called Camille Wekesa. I can't wait. I'm going to learn a lot, hopefully, and paint a lot. Yeah, I feel like things are just, like I said, yes, there's a lot of validation from even just people buying my work or telling me how much my work has moved them, etc., etc. Yeah, I think that's given me validation, yeah, for myself. Okay, if I could speak to young visual artists, I would say read a lot about, as much as you can, about the artists within your own community, why they create the way they create. I would say do a lot of research, yeah. I'd say try and extend yourself beyond your comfort zone as much as you can, and be consistent. And I'd say, like, don't be afraid to show your work. Yeah. I think I've met some really amazing artists who, I don't know if it's shyness or they just, yeah. But I've met very brilliant artists who I feel their work needs to be seen by more than themselves and just me and another person. Yes. So I would just encourage them to be maybe braver, I don't know, or yeah, as much as they can. Yes.
Thank you so much for watching this episode of Legally Clueless powered by Guinness. Be sure to check out the new Guinness Black Shine's Brightest Stories show that spotlights some of Kenya's most amazing and bold artists within the food, dance, fashion, and creative arts, showcasing our rich culture and the future of Kenyan art within Africa and beyond. You can catch all these incredible stories right now on the Guinness Kenya YouTube channel. And remember, you can catch all new Legally Clueless podcast episodes every Monday across all podcasting platforms, as well as new Legally Clueless video episodes on Fridays, only right here on the Legally Clueless YouTube channel.